welcome to another YouTube episode. Today we have Gary Mao on again. For those of you who have seen previous episodes, this is the second time on the show, and we're trying something a little bit different. Today we want to go through a review of last night's PWCC Premier sales. We just want to go through what we thought of some of the prices, play a little guessing game on what we think certain cards are worth, and just have a lot of fun looking at the results from last night's auction. How are things going, Gary?
In the markets overall, pretty brutal. So I think as we'll probably talk about it, it seems to also have spread into the card market in certain areas as well. But of course, other ones seem totally fine.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They're definitely reflecting some of the auction prices. I have been seeing not as much panic as I would have expected on Instagram and Facebook when people are trying to buy and sell. People are still tend to be a little bit more tighter on their prices, but certainly when people are buying on these auction platforms, there does seem to be some sort of effect of the markets on the card market as well.
Yeah, I think that even though I think on a lot of ultra modern and stuff like that, you'll see price declines, but then the other side of it, right, is that the liquidity is still super high, right? So if you want to get rid of ultra modern cards, there's still a pretty big and easy market that will snap it up. So it's still clearly active, right? People are still looking to kind of get a hold of these. It's just maybe not at these super inflated prices we saw late last year.
Agreed. With that, let's just jump into the auction. See the first row. Any surprises here?
Obviously I think it's always cool to see because you really don't see too often the Kareem 10, right? So I think if I remember correctly, this was Cajun Cardboards. He had that, and then he had, I think, the couple other kind of 86 Fleers in this auction. But it's a beautiful card. I remember I have one of these that I picked out from a dollar box at a flea market. It's not a 10 by far, but I think that anytime I see kind of cards go for this, it just makes me happy because it's good just to see people kind of, deviate away from the very clearly iconic card here in the Jordan from this set. So I feel like it's right about where it should be in a way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was a little bit surprised when I saw the price. It's about 4 times, it's 3 times the price of the Jordan, but the population is about 1/10. So I'm also happy as well. It seems like there's actual collectors who are buying this, right? The only reason why the price is so high. Kind of a similar situation with the Johnny Moore Fleer rookie PSA 10, which I guess shows up later in the auction as well.
I think that you bring up actually a good point. I think if I looked at this whole result and I would say in one sentence, how would I summarize how this PWCC this Premier auction went? It basically was a big win for the set collector cards, right? If you search the key kind of players like a LeBron or a Curry, it might not be wow numbers, but then you're going to see some people who let's say new people to the hobby are who is this guy, but then I'm sure we'll get into it to really show that there's obviously speculators, flippers that probably gravitate more towards those high profile names. But then there's more obscure dudes that very much are the rare cards that people need to fulfill their set. And those have a huge amount of value too, right? Because as they say, right, if you this one that you got going right here, you may not, I literally was talking with 2 people last month that were oh, we're going to try and go for the Chrome Refractor set, right? And cards like this, if you don't get it now, you literally will never see it again. Unless you throw $1 million bounty or something and pull it out of somebody.
Yeah, this is the example that you sent me before I called you, but I was also really surprised when this Ray Allen rookie Refractor went for, I think it was $69,000. Granted, it's a pop 102, but that was surprising to me. But that's definitely good news, right?
That one actually is a little tricky, right? Because it's kind of Ray Allen is quite a good player, Hall of Famer, it is his rookie card. And, if you think about, okay, relative to a, 6-figure cost of a Kobe of that, it's it is absurd, but it's not like insane. But then of course you add on the fact that it's also like a set thing, would be great. But the other interesting thing though is also that the Iverson is not going for anywhere even near that either, right? And there was the Iverson 9.5 later in the auction too. That went for, I think it didn't make 10K.
Oh wow, maybe it has to do with like the population. I feel like
for sure.
like this card is pretty common in 9.5. I
Yeah,
also think this card probably doesn't get enough love that it does, because not only do the greening, but because like the pose is really bad. The photo, it looks like, like the have you seen like the new like Instagram crying filter?
yeah.
It looks kind of a little bit like that.
When I was first collecting, that was the year I started. And in Topps Chrome, that, at least for me and my friends, that was the chase card, right? Like that was the Zion, that was the, like LaMelo Ball was Iverson, right? So in a way, I have much more kind of emotional feelings towards like, oh, that was an awesome card, right? So it's a bit sad to see that's no longer, at the top of the chart, so to speak.
Exactly. What are your guesses on these prices over here?
So that Curry, right? Like I remember seeing that exact Curry actually, bidding on it a few months ago, and I was willing to go upwards of like 450 for it. And so I would place that somewhere about 400,
About 400.
That's the one I would feel like. The Ronaldo, I have no clue. I mean, I think soccer still throws me off a little bit because, in the basketball hobby, in a way, there's a certain kind of like, outside of vintage cards, there's a certain flashiness to cards that sometimes imply the value. So like the refractors or the like RPAs, things like that. Whereas this is like, it's hard for me to say. The only thing, I guess, looking at the lot number and placement, it must be like a 6-figure card, that's about all I can say. The Jordans always, I feel like, are easy. It seems like they're the steadiest in the whole market. They're just not, apart from that one random time that 2 went for 750, it's like these are always going to go for $250,000, or have always been going for $250,000 basically.
Yeah, this one I'm a little bit surprised on. Like the last sale I actually saw one sell on eBay like 2 weeks ago for 210 flat.
Oh my gosh.
The condition was, this one looks pretty good,
yeah,
to be honest. But like that one didn't look too bad either.
Yeah.
But 276 for me seems pretty high.
Yeah.
Also, I think the NBA sticker on it is interesting. Like the silver is like the lowest tier NBA sticker you can get.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised that they included it. I don't know, like what's your opinion on stuff like this? Like
razor and peel it off.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like use your fingernails and like rip it off, right? Like would you have included the NBA sticker, silver NBA sticker?
Yeah.
You're the one selling the card?
No, yeah, definitely no. I mean, obviously the PWCC like one is plenty great. I'm curious what you think about, like, in terms of, speaking of Jordans, there's 2 other Jordans in this auction. The one that I was looking at was the SGC one. To my eye, it looked really nice. I was like, oh wow, this seems like a good regrade candidate. And feels a bit like it got priced that way.
Oh wow, 102. Take a look at it. It does look perfectly centered. I feel like I have a pretty good eye, and I don't really see any difference between like the left and right sides of the card.
Yeah.
Look at the back. The back, a bit off center to the right, but like honestly, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
My whole thing with these is like, I feel like PSA won't do a crossover on this. Like, I think just for like, it would be just for a card of this magnitude.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, right? Like the person who's crossing over that's like a 150K arbitrage opportunity, right?
Yep.
And I think for cards like these, like, or any card for that matter, like if you look super intently at something, you're gonna find something wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's something here. But yeah, there's not many comps of this price. It's also interesting because like a lot of the pricing tools that people use that just all don't show SGC prices. So I wonder if that'll influence the pricing of the card moving forward.
Yeah.
I personally thought the Fleer Jordan 9.5 True Gem Plus ended pretty low. I think it sold for like in the range of like 70K.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that one was that one was for sure a bit quite a surprise actually.
Yeah, that was not good. It sold 72. Yeah.
Even in auctions, you don't see True Gem Pluses sold every day.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, I would have thought that it would have gone at least for what that SGC. Actually, if you inverted it, like if the SGC got this price and this got that price, I wouldn't be that surprised. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's kind of reasonable.
Oh really? I feel like SGC is slowly starting to gain respect. Also, like upon looking at this card a little bit more closely, like it looks very off-center top to bottom.
Yeah, so arguably this one is, I mean, compared to the SGC, if we're just talking about front centering, it's worse. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's like like instantaneously. It's not even a question. What was the back looking like on this one? I guess a
little bit more off center.
It was good. Like this one's good on the back, or better than the SGC one. Oh no, still off center actually.
Yeah, it's off center.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe like about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I guess we'll just look at these cards one by one then. I don't need to go straight from the list. Yeah. But any other thoughts on any of these Jordan sales?
I think we could probably go back to the top, right? I think there's some other interesting ones, kind of from the front of the list.
I was surprised by the number of like older label cards. I feel like one thing that PWCC as well as other auction houses should do is like include like some sort of like reslabbing service, because those would obviously like help get like a slight premium on the card.
Yep.
And also like eliminate any doubts of like whether or not the slab is fake or not.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. The yeah, and it's just convenient like to get like that QR code in the back, look it up in the pop report, just nice touches and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean oh wow. So the Ronaldo went for almost, went for like one set. That's, like I said, I don't really know too much about soccer, but that seems like a hell of a lot of money for that card.
That's actually a really bad sale. I think this card in October did like 300.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh my gosh. What's the pop on this?
I think it's like, I want to say it's like in the 60s or something. The Ronaldo one, I think, has 4 times the pop of the Messi one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like not super high pop.
Got it.
Yeah, I think like one thing that like I've kind of 38 is 38. The Messi is like I think top 10. It's like top 10. But I feel like one thing that like is a trend is like if stuff goes up too quickly, it'll also fall really quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas if stuff goes up slowly, it has like a higher chance of
for sure
staying steady for longer.
In the like the day trader world, there's that term, you go up the same way you go down. Always
the same way you go down. Yeah. I thought this was really interesting. I was like reading the description of like the card. It said it's actually like a Twitter, so like it's related to Twitter, like the social media company.
Yeah.
Like some sort of collaboration, which I was not really sure about.
What the
Twitter
heck?
logo.
Oh my gosh, that's super interesting. I mean, yeah, who would have known that like Elon Musk now would also have infiltrated like the card world? But like here we are, I guess.
Yeah, and also like the it says like Juan Soto did not make a Twitter account until 2020, so his handle is not there. Does that imply that like other players have their Twitter handles like on the card?
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, that would be kind of a bit, I guess, like cute, kind of interesting little thing to have on there for sure. That's bad that he doesn't have it then, if that's the case.
Also, another weird thing is like it seems like it's a sticker auto, right? Is this? Yeah. Oh no, it's not. This is just the border. I don't think it's.
I thought that for this, some parallels of this, like the oranges and things like that did have stickers. Because I remember there was one that like I've seen ones before that kind of run off the sticker, so to speak. But I guess maybe this one's fine.
I don't know. That handy 132K.
Yep. Yeah, I love. I mean, those Jordans. I mean, I think those are always kind of sell for that's about where it sells at, right?
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere in that range. Like it's
Yeah.
03s that tends to sell for a little bit more. The patch is like not nice shape, but like I feel like the color, something about it like
Yeah.
doesn't look so nice.
The it also goes to one of those examples where like I think that is not one of the best, not one of the better Jordan autos as well. I guess in general.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's also it's a little bit faded.
Yeah.
It's not as good as some of the other ones. Interesting stuff. I thought this Bowman Chrome sale was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
There were a couple of sales in this auction that were picked up from an auction in February. There were like 2019 John Morant Gold Prizm,
Yep.
2003 LeBron Bowman Chrome. I think they were like moves to like see how quickly if you could like basically flip cross platform. And there were like whoever did it got burned quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like I think this, I want to say like this card it did 100. I think it was sold on alt for like around 200, maybe like high 100s, like 190, 190 ish. And like that was previously down from the past sale of like 240.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess like yeah. I mean, I guess like that's kind of like I mean, LeBron leads the way. I guess is like the hallmark example of what can happen. I suppose in more like modern cards even. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Continue our way down. I know you had some things to say about the Giannis Gold. Care to share them?
This one was wild. I mean, this was the big, I guess, like from just pure dollar value, right? The big winner. I would not have placed it at that. I'm not a Giannis collector, but um, I guess like yeah, like I mean, I guess to be honest, I'd not seen that many sold. To be honest, I think the last one did sell for around that amount, but I think seeing some of the larger other declines of the rookie cards of current stars, um, and in a way, it's always kind of interesting, right? Like how a card kind of performs even if they don't end up winning the chip this year. It's like there's ways to kind of have moral victories, and it definitely seems like Giannis definitely still kind of carries that best player in the league, like moral victory kind of out of this whole season, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think there's a way to lose like gracefully, and there's also a way to lose disappointingly. I think the
Yeah,
way Giannis went out, without Chris Middleton, I think was definitely a good, at least like not a bad thing, right?
yeah,
But this is a beautiful card. I mean, it's not a true gem plus, but it's like a 9.5 with a 10, which I don't think really matters for this card, but awesome card.
and people just love. I mean, I feel like a couple. I mean, if not already, right? Like a couple years from now, you're gonna see the people that are gonna be chasing like the full 2012, 2013 like Prizm sets, right? Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, you better kind of stock up on your, like Chauncey Billups cards from like that. It's gonna have value, getting them graded
Yeah.
and into those sets.
Yeah. This Giannis gold card is probably worth 10 times the rest of the gold cards in the 2013 set combined.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
no doubt.
yep, yep. The what do you think about the blockchain card?
Surprised it went for that much. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I think I'm like I feel like I kind of understand what this blockchain thing is, a blockchain card is about, but I feel like there's still like kind of like white boxes and black boxes. There's like a stigma surrounding these these blockchain cards. It is a beautiful card though. I mean, like if you just
yeah.
look
I
at it,
was thinking like if I yeah like I would just take some white out and I would just cover that P with the chain, and then it would be funny. It'd be like $1 million card.
yeah, just like have your finger cover it while you're taking a photo, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Crack the
definitely.
case, have your finger cover it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, because I guess in the hobby, right? It's like it's all in the details. It's not the totality of the card. Yeah, it's actually a bit of a shame because it is a very nice and clean and like appeals to high end collectors, like the way it looks. But something about that P is not right.
Looks a little tacky.
Yeah.
It does come with the digital version though. I believe like the physical and digital version are not necessarily linked, but it seems like the owner here, or at least PWCC, has like the digital
Yeah,
copy as well.
I feel like given how easily it can be separated, I feel like it is nice that that has been preserved. So in that sense, I was like, that's kind of cool. And if in the future this does get to be, I mean, I think that there is this other thing where I always wonder to myself, because like when we're talking about this, like we've seen this hobby for a while, right? Like, let's say like the next generation of collectors that come in, like will they not mind this as much, like the kind of the blockchainness of some of these cards? Because yeah, like the ones I see pop up like in principle, right, are epic, are like incredible, like Zion Jaw, or like like things like that. But then just that one, yeah, the fact that it's a blockchain one, no one ever seems proud that they own one, I guess. Even if it, yeah.
Yeah. I think we were talking about this earlier, right? You're like kind of like, black box and white box. You see the one of one thing and it's like, oh, but then the people who own it, they're always a little bit ashamed of, oh, but it's a blockchain. Oh, it's a white box. And like they're a little bit embarrassed. I think it's pretty funny.
Yep.
I was kind of surprised by like how low this card ended. The last sale on this card was like 300K.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it's an epic card.
Yeah, it's a big one, and I think that, I mean, for me personally, the dynamics of multi-autos have always been kind of weird, right? Like where it's sometimes like more can be less in a way, and then like I would say, like anyone would say, if you can choose three people that would be like the ultimate combination, it would be them, right? And it's just, there aren't. I mean, I know people that try to go out there and collect like every single, triplet of them, right? So, it is a bit surprising, because that kind of price decline, it's like, usually that would imply that enough people have it and actively want to get rid of it. But I would imagine a card like this, even by now, given how many years it's been, normally should have already made its way to like all the homes that, are going to hold it for the next couple of years. So yeah, it's a bit strange in that regard. The case also looks like it kind of sucks, because then it looks like there's stains on the.
Yeah, exactly. It looks a little scuffed. I don't think it helps that like the surface is created in 8.2. I think like the person bidders might have been like, oh, like maybe I don't know if it's surface issue, or I don't know if it's like a case issue, right?
Yeah, I think this is one of those cases where I feel like I would like it a lot more if I saw it in person.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, it's awesome, and the design was so cool back in those days to put it kind of against a foil backdrop.
Agreed. Also like how it's like you can see pieces of like their teams are very clear. Well, like their jersey is very different. And it's like a very like, how to explain it? Like it's a very parallel structure to this card.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I feel like that's when, especially when you have like these multi-autos, the arrangement. I mean, my favorite one, speaking of this is not my favorite kind of the three. My favorite, like all time, maybe of any triplet, is the vertical one.
The vertical one.
Those three faces, and then they sign sideways, so it kind of runs vertical. So their heads are like upwards, right? And then
so their autographs are like top down.
Yeah, top down, basically.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
But the card
would be cool.
So it's kind of like a bit of a, I guess in the hobby, a little more kind of an avant-garde approach, right? You don't often see perpendicular kind of orientation of auto versus picture.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be cool.
So there's that Kobe there is also kind of interesting. Or right here, this I don't often see this card come out either. I mean, this is, I guess, from the inaugural year of like Kobe patch autos. So it's cool to see. But this one actually was surprising, because I think the last time, not this one, but then there was an upper deck, like the base upper deck kind of Kobe patch auto, where he's kind of against the Pacers. That one only went for 90 something as a PSA, as a DGS 9. So it's interesting that this is kind of still holding up value. Granted, the pop is way lower, but Yeah, this one actually surprised me that it kind of went up high. Also, this is one of the cards that kept everyone, late, like, because I do remember like at the 1 minute half bidding, this one was still moving. So I guess there are some collectors that really want to, get this one out there.
Which other cards did you see were moving? Because I remember you were messaging me, you were like looking at the front page and you're like, oh, there's not a whole lot of action happening on the super expensive cards in this auction.
Yeah, so I think the one I'm trying to remember the ones that I saw that were moving a bit. So I saw the Kobe one move quite a bit. The one that was the PSA 8, the Kobe Legacy Flair Showcase.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that one, yeah, that one I was trying to I was talking myself into, like, that the grade is a part of the grander picture of it, right? Because it's like the 8 out of the, but yeah, I mean, I think that one would be an amazing, for me personally as a collector, even though I don't have any of them, if I could get the row like 0, 1, 2, 3 of the 8 out of, the legacy set, that'd be pretty crazy. That'd be one of like the dream sets I'd love to have. Yeah, so going for 120. So yeah, that one kind of, I think, really did quite well.
Yeah, that is a beautiful card. I mean, like, in a non-jersey number, this card would probably be in the range of, like, I want to say, like, definitely under 30K.
Yeah. It seems interesting too, right? Like, that there's certain cards where the jersey number matters and there's certain where it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, like, this one definitely feels like, even the way they did the numbering, I like,
How do they do the numbering?
It's just like the thick stamp,
Oh yeah, 008 out of 150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this card. I think, like, for certain players like Kobe and Jordan, like, 8 and 23 are like really iconic. I would say, like, for LeBron, probably less so.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason is because Jordan shares that same number. Like, when people think of 23, they think of Jordan, not LeBron, right?
Yeah. And I must say that for the legacy collection cards, they just scan really nice. Like, the way the blue looks like in scans is just really nice. It's just, yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice. That looks.
But yeah, this is definitely another one. I mean, this by far, I mean, this whole series, right? Like the legacy collection ones are, when I was a kid, like, you just went completely nuts if you saw any legacy collection, like, parallel come out of a pack. Because it's just so beautiful, that kind of like Tiffany blue look. And to see these that don't have like that kind of crazy print line errors, I think is always really nice.
What are you referring to? Print line errors?
Like, so it's like, it plagues so many of these cards where it's like, you would randomly see like down the middle of the card, or it could be like horizontal, just a random like print line. So it's like, it's like, as if somebody just took like a transparent like strip of black tape and they just taped it down, like, let's say Kobe's face right on the side. So like, I look at my own cards, right? Like, I have like Ray Allen's or Marbury's or Kobe's, and they just always have that random print defect, just kind of ruins the surface of it, right? So I mean, these are great.
Yeah, this is awesome. Do you think, is there one of one in this card? Because I know for like in the Brady,
the masterpieces.
It's called a masterpiece, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so I don't think this year had them. Later on, I think later on there was masterpiece variants, but then not in the Kobe year. But obviously, like, the top of this auction, right? Like, the Fleer showcase Tom Brady, right? It was a masterpiece. Which, yeah, it was another one of those cases where I think, like, definitely give it up to PWCC for, bringing out the story. Like, I think this one is just, it's cool, and at the same time, it's kind of off-putting that there's two. Like, there's like two, there's a duplicate one of one out there.
Yep.
If I had both, it's one of those things where if I had both, it would be so awesome. It'd be like a nice set piece. But then if I had only one of them, it would bother me to think, even though it's the dumbest thing ever, to think which one's the real one.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, I read the story. I thought it was really interesting.
And it's always the reason, I don't know, like, I have like this love-hate relationship with the way they numbered this, is they actually wrote a sentence out, right? Like, the only one masterpiece. redundant, by the way. So like, clearly
I really like it. I really like it. The only one,
Yeah.
the word masterpiece is just great.
Actually,
the only one of one.
Now that I think of it, for this particular card, this numbering is amazing because now it's ironic. It's like you're emphasizing it's the only one of one when it's not the only one of one.
Yeah, the two of two, two of one. Also, can we appreciate how bad this photo is? I feel like he looks like Humpty Dumpty.
I was gonna say that he doesn't like it. Definitely, like if you zoom out, like it doesn't look like a quarterback. It's like I'm looking at like a linebacker or like looking at something else.
What a terrible photo.
Yeah, but the front of it I think is nice and clean for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful. Yeah, the front of it's beautiful. The gold lettering, the sparkle.
Yeah. The details are great. The Fleer showcase, I don't like that logo so much. But the other weird thing is that at the very top, right, there's like that silhouette. Is that like his eye or is that his mouth or like?
Oh, like this thing? I didn't even notice. It looks like his lip.
Yeah,
like
that would be really bad. Like
I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just like
a
cloud or something. Nah, it looks like he's like kissing the top of the.
Yeah. I think this is definitely one of those like super nerd cards, right? Like you really gotta love cards like this because if you showed somebody kind of like that didn't really care about cards, one, I'm pretty sure they would gravitate and be like, is that his lip? Like, what is he doing kissing the card? And then you look in the back, it's like, oh, ugly Brady photo, right? So it's and then a very weird, redundant, full sentence stamp of approval of rarity. So.
Hey, maybe this is another level of irony. He's kissing his kids.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos where he just like kisses his kids on the lips?
Oh, wait. I think that's just a zoomed in version of his mouth, like in the picture, right? Or maybe not. Because in the picture, he's kind of got like that pucker look.
Yeah. If so, that's bad.
It's still weird. But look. Yeah, it's one of those things where like sometimes it's like it's like those like take it to the net Jordans, right? It's like something that's like so bad it's good kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it kind of represents the era it was made in.
Yeah, like the cheesiness, right? Yeah. I agree. Even like the what is it? The Playmakers Theater, like that's such a cheesy card, but it looks really, really cool. Because you kind of respect the era that it's in.
I mean, I think that those are cards I feel like it really makes me happy to see those cards just because those are really the ones that it's like the collectors are chasing after, like whether they're just trying to fill out their player set or they're trying to get the whole set, of all the players involved. So,
yeah.
Oh, this Aaron Judge at first was listed under a basketball card. So
really?
That was weird. But then I think it was so far up it's kind of in the higher end of the PWCC side, so I guess it probably didn't make too much of a difference. It was a beautiful card. I mean,
101 Superfractor. Yeah, honestly, like I would have expected it to run for a little bit more.
Yeah.
But beautiful card. I mean, that's his best card, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are no better Aaron Judge cards.
Great.
The Ohtani orange. About that. That's
about. Or it went a little bit up, right? This is kind of like an from its last sale.
I think so. Last sale was like probably in the range of like 70 something.
Yeah.
But that's also the one of his batting. So this is like the pitching one, which I think is worth a little bit less.
Yeah.
Hope it goes up. I have the batting version going up the next Premier auction. So
yeah.
Hopefully.
A little plug for the
heard it's a great card.
This one's good. Oh, and then we get
this was super low, I think. Like the number of fast break cards for some reason just don't get a lot of love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
say?
No, for sure. I think people just don't like the disc. Like, I guess one, it's like fast break. I think is like considered the retail family, right? So, and then I guess people just don't like this kind of like dot. And then I would definitely say bronze is an unnecessary. The parallels I think are not particularly beloved as a color overall.
Yeah, I agree. I think Panini should do something like they do with like football.
Yeah.
Or even like select basketball, right? Like copper, I think is like a much more pleasant color than Like this doesn't look that great, but 15K, which is way lower than what I expected. Like that's like the price of like.
Yeah. And then we're going back. We looked at the Allen, but like the Kobe Bryant 10 is 168 versus the Allen being kind of almost half is kind of crazy. But then again, right, there's so many of these more than there are the Allens out there.
Exactly. How much if this card had 0 green? How much more do you think would have gone for?
I'd probably place that at like 250.
I would have, probably 250. I would say like double maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, at some stage somebody has got to or like BGS or somebody probably needs to assign like a coloring score. I guess it probably would be a part of Surface, but it is unfortunate. But in a way, it's kind of what makes it beautiful, right? Like it makes you really appreciate when you see any full color Topps Chrome card from that year. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. Are there some players that green more easily than others, or if it's just like across the board, it's kind of around the same?
I would guess it would be across the board. There's some players that look worse green, right? Like the white players will look like the Incredible Hulk, right? Because like their face will turn like neon green.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess it probably depends on the photo too, right? Like Kobe's, especially in like the Kobe photos, like his arms hurt green a lot.
Yeah.
But if there were less arms in like other players' photos, then maybe that card wouldn't look as bad.
Yep. Then the infamous Jordan pseudo logo man. That one was also, I feel like it was either sold on PWCC or Golden not too long ago.
I saw some Instagram posts about it. What was the deal behind it? Like people were concerned that the patch was not real.
Yeah, people were concerned that it was a patch swap. They sent it back to Beckett, and then Beckett individually kind of put out a letter or a notice saying that in their best kind of estimation, it's an authentic piece. But yeah, I mean, it's like this one, I think the comps don't really follow. I think the comps are less than half this, but then it kind of doesn't matter, right? Because this is kind of its own thing. Because of its weirdness. I mean, the insert itself, the family of cards it belongs to, I love. I think it's so, the rounded corners, the fact that the whole thing looks like a jersey, it's nice, and it's the All-Star jersey. I think it's great. It's but it's a bit weird. Not my taste, but I can see why some people like it.
It's also like not the same size as like a regular card, right? Like if you look at like kind of the edge on this side, it seems like whereas typical card would fill up the entire space, it's just a little smaller. So is this is Jordan's first patch auto card, right? Like the other cards in the set?
Correct.
Like he has the auto one number 23, like that's the big one, right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, those ones, I don't really like the way they look, but I know they're like very, very, they're like Jordan's best cards.
Yeah, because these to me are like, I don't think they look good either, but it's one of those cases, again, going back to like, it's so cheesy that it's very like a card like this wouldn't get designed today. Yeah, which is kind of the appeal of it. Like it's kind of like that retro nostalgia,
like a representation of the era.
Yeah. When we go, we have another big disappointment. Yeah, oh my gosh, this going back to what we're talking about, people hate the disco. This one defies rarity. Obviously, it's like they hate it so much that the out of 5 does not matter. The grade does not matter. It just got punished. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, to put it into perspective, like an orange out of 49 in a gem does more than this. A blue and a PSA 10 is around 8K. So I guess this is 2 blue PSA 10. That's crazy.
It looks like a Sprite commercial.
It doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like as far as color match goes, it's not bad. Because later on, in the auction, there was the Jason Tatum rookie green disco.
Yeah,
that I think's okay. Like I think is actually perfectly fine, and I think the price it went for is indicative that maybe in certain cases, like people tolerate the disco.
I guess like that's a stronger color match. Like the green base Prizm that's unnumbered goes for like a pretty
Yeah.
Like a pretty
Now,
expensive.
now I feel FOMO. Now I wish I bid on this.
Yeah, this is I saw it, I was like, if I would have guessed, I covered up the price and I was like, this is at least a 40K card. 40 and 50.
Yeah.
Crazy. Zion NT out of 10. What is your opinion on like these like rare parallels of NT versus like the true NT out of 99?
I think I prefer the 99 because it goes back to my theory that like the 99 is more the 99 can actually create like a 99 community, right? And then it kind of just like with NFTs or anything, like the whole point of grading is that you can kind of create that hierarchy, right? So I would, yeah, like would I rather have a out of 5 Zion NT like an emeraldish thing, or would I, or 10 like gold or whatever that have the 99 but like in the highest grade, right? Like a BGS 9.5. I think the 9.5 just because it's like, in kind of in an arrogant way, I can show up to like different card shows and see people with the same card I do, but then I rule over them,
Do you think the patches on the parallels are different from the patches in like
I don't think so, right? Like certainly not. Like with the Zions, I guess I'm not super expert, but like the Lamellos, right? Like all of the parallels, I feel like were very close to each other in what these patches were. They're always like a thin part of the lettering. You got like a curve, you got the curvature, angle, you got like color change. They all really exhibited that. This one, I would even say, is not even the best patch I've seen from like a 99.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree.
It's off. Like the thing that bothers me about this is off center, like the patch way, right? Like,
you could very easily like move it half a centimeter to the left and then have like another nice corner, right? Of like I believe it's the end.
Yep.
I've also been curious. Like, there's some like cards that have like a lot better patches than other cards, even when they're from the same set. Which I think is something that which is very, very strange. For example, like in 2018 football, Lamar Jackson has really, really nice patches. Like there will be like Ravens logos, like logo, NFL shield or whatever. But like other players in that set will not have. Like Josh Allen, the patches are typically like less elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things I feel like, even though there are videos like, from like Find Your Trove and all those guys doing good work, like that show the patch making process of the cards. But I think the unanswered question, right, is that like, is there actual intentionality put into what patches get framed onto what card? Or like, is somebody actually kind of like, oh, this would be a nice one, and then, stamping it on there? Or is it just really, really random?
Yeah, it's like it'd be cool if there were more thought put into it.
Yeah. Also, you're saying?
I also think there's value in like if like not every patch is good. I think there's value in that, right? Because like I think there do need to be some napkin patches. There do need to be some 2 colors. There need to be 3 colors, and like the occasional 4 color, right? That way, like that's how you create like a market.
Definitely.
That has like tiers, right? If every card is the same, it becomes very subjective of like how much each card is.
Yeah, I mean, I think some sets, from have done it really right? Like some sets, like the base, let's say purely just jersey card, right? Like if it's just the out of 199, it'll just be a napkin, and then the 99 will be like a 1 color or 2 color patch, and then the out of like 10 will be some like crazy wild kind of like image, right? Like I think that's perfectly great. The National Treasures one, it's like other than the little trim kind of around the window and kind of in other elements of the card, like it seems like the patches don't really get that much extra love in terms of what the patch is.
You know what they should do? They should have some sort of rule where it's like out of the 99 patches, they should do like 1 to 30 is all going to be napkins, 2 to 60 is going to be B tier patches, 2 color, and then say like something like 60 to 99 is all going to be like because then that disincentivizes patch swapping too, right?
And also it would, because the one things that I think big mysteries in the hobby too is why nobody has stolen the PMG numbering logic idea, right? Where it's like you have it out of 99, but it's clearly within the 99 there's certain numbers that are like number cutoffs that create the hierarchy. So like you said, like if patch numbers 1 through 30 out of 99 were something different, it would bring, I feel like, yeah, like people would get it right away what they're trying to do, you know, like establish kind of hierarchy, even just with before grading, before the condition.
That would be sick, yeah. Also, like, yeah, like throwback to the PMG era. Also, like away jerseys versus home jerseys.
Oh yeah, I mean,
would,
it goes back to this ongoing thing. Yeah, just more thought into the jerseys, right? It's like,
yeah,
for sure.
These aren't even like game worn anyways, right? They're not player worn, but like they don't seem that hard to get. And these are. Do you think this is an away jersey or home jersey? This is a home jersey, right?
Home jersey, right?
The away jersey's red, right?
Yeah. The other thing I like, I'm sure that it gets talked about in the hobby a lot, is that if the jersey matches the jersey on the photo, that also feels like it's a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you ever do that? You know, why would you ever not do that? Like, put the away jersey, but then the player's like images, you know, the home and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that just seems like a
of where it matches. So that's good.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. Overall, beautiful card. I like the Zion NT.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that, like, you know, even after the when Panini, you know, goes the way of how Upper Deck and Fleer, not in bankruptcy, but just in losing their license, right? I'm sure like that's going to be one of the iconic ones that kind of resist away from, like, let's say like the current junk wax era. Like that one, it is very iconic without a doubt.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised how. Not surprised, but like I think one thing that's always kind of bothered me is like the Xfractor has always been consistently less than the Refractor, even though it's less than half the print run.
Yeah, it goes back. Yeah, it goes back to like how the hobby can be funny sometimes, right? Like their taste can override the built-in scarcity that the manufacturer kind of intended.
Yeah, like kind of like what you were saying about the NT stuff, right? Like the 99 is still most desirable, even though there are parallels that are much lower and much rarer than ones out of 99.
Yeah, because going back to the point, right? It's like, would I rather have a low grade small parallel, or would I rather have a high grade of a, you know, common parallel? Like, yeah, it seems like the high grade common parallel is like, and at the same time, at least in basketball too, right? Like with the retail packs of like optics and stuff like that, people also don't like the checkerboard.
People don't like checker, yeah. I think like, I don't know why people don't like. I feel like it's because, like, at least from a raw, I think it's because like maybe a lot of them like have print lines. Like you see this gem copy, there's still even like a kind of what you're talking about, the Kobe, right? There's like almost like a big mark.
Yep.
You also can't tell the condition of these cards sometimes unless you have it in person. Like the angle will only, the line will only be visible, and you look at the card at a certain angle.
Yep. Yeah.
John Morant sale is very interesting.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Like it's bonkers to think, going back that we saw the green disco, right? Like if you own the entire world's population of the green disco, it would be less than this card.
That is true. Interesting way to think about this.
But hey, this one's a gem. Yeah, this was a gem plus though, so that's awesome. You know, and so often I think of this particular year of Prizm, it's like left right centering is so bad so often on these good parallels. So this is kind of awesome.
I think the other reason why this sale was surprising to me was I saw this card on the alt liquid auctions about 2 months ago, and it did, I think, close to 200. So whoever bought it must have tried to flip it and probably got about 120 in pocket, which is like a huge, pretty big difference.
I think it's a good buy. It's like, you know, outside of his NT's cards, like this is the one that it kind of has that good balance between, there's enough in the world where it's actually accessible. Like there's other people that over time can get a hold of it, or you can see others that are comp to sell it. And then, yeah, like not talking about like the nebulas, the blacks, like nobody will really see those until they see those. So
exactly, yeah.
Kind of the one of the key cards for sure.
Yeah, definitely key. Looks very, very beautiful. True gem plus. Can't really get better than any of that. Cool. Well, unfortunately, we weren't able to go through. There's still 16 pages left of this, and we're running a little bit short on time. But I think this is a great time to chat about some of the prices, look at specific cards, and Gary, we should definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's fun. And like condolences to we didn't cover it, but the LeBron like flashback. That one was that one. We didn't get to it, but then obviously we couldn't because it's so far down the list, and so it's like,
oh man,
whoever sold this, it's
yeah.
But congratulations to who bought it, because I think it's a great buy.
Yeah, what LeBron PSA 10 gold goes for 25, right? Apparently in this one.
Yep.
Well, it was great chatting, Gary, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yeah, definitely.